Hey guys, Rich Legends. Welcome to the video. Glad to have you all here with me today, talking some raid. It's going to be a good one, sending some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need them out there. Today we have a long overdue guide on Gretel Hagbane, who was a Halloween fusion in 2024. I never got around to doing a guide, although I did do the fusion. But before we get to her, a few shouts to you guys. Xavier said, I said in a previous video, but definitely should do a guide on Hansel and Gretel. I think many people will still watch it, even if they don't have both champions. We will see a little bit of Hansel in today's video as well. We get JJ Nader says Gretel video, her alone, no need for Hansel. Oh, isn't this the perfect kind of picture of YouTube comments, right? Half the people want something, the other people want the other thing, and then, you know, I'm to blame either way. So we will split the difference. I will cover a little bit of Gretel kind of solo, and then we'll put them together in the arena as well, and maybe take Hansel out a little bit as well. Anyway, let's jump into the guide.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
So both Hansel and Gretel are a Sacred Order legendary champions. Let me make myself a little bit bigger here. So we have Gretel. She is a Force Affinity champion, which is actually kind of interesting. We can use her to combat and kind of negate the power that is magic affinity inside the game. If you look at her base stats, really nothing jumps out at you. She's a little bit of a glass cannon, no defense, not a lot of HP at all, especially for a legendary. And her attack is good, but not great. She does have an attack in all battles aura, which is useful for areas like Cintranos, where we don't have specific auras. Well, it's useful anywhere, right? On the A1, Evil Undone attacks one enemy. We have a 75% chance when booked, 50% unbooked, to place a big version of decreased defense. Now, if Hansel's on the same team, we'll attack all enemies. This is an AoE attack. And that AoE attack has a 50% chance when booked of placing a decreased defense on all enemies for 2 turns. Also, places an extra hit against enemies under any buffs. So quite an A1. Obviously, it gets quite a bit more powerful as well if Hansel is on the same team. On the A2 ability, Shadow Seeker Bolts. It is a quad hitter on a 3-turn cooldown. You love to see it. The first hit, ignore 10% of the target's defense. Second hit, 15%. Third hit, 20%. And fourth hit will ignore 25% of the target's defense. So escalating damage from this A2 ability. If this attack kills an enemy, resets the cooldown of this skill and fills this champion's turn meter by 50%. So I like the turn meter fill. I like the ignore defense as well. It hits decently hard. Also, on her Sacred Ritual, which is her A3 ability, it's a 3-turn cooldown. Attacks all enemies. Decrease the target's turn meters by 25%. Not too bad for a 3-turn cooldown especially, but if Hansel's on the same team, decrease the turn meter of all enemies by 50% instead, and it can't be resisted. Then fills this champion's turn meter by 20% for each enemy alive after the attack. So not too bad. We can get a full turn meter, 100% turn meter, I should say, in PvE wave content. Really nice. You add that to the turn meter fill under A2. You're getting a lot of turn meter back on this champion, a lot of extra kind of turns built into the kit vis-a-vis the turn meter boost and manipulation. At the same time, we're decreasing the enemies. But again, kind of a theme here, she does get quite a bit more powerful with Hansel on the same team. It can't be resisted as well. On the passive, Sisterly Bond. The passive effect of the passive is fills this champion's turn meter by 50% whenever an enemy is granted an extra turn. Kind of a unique and cool little passive there. If Hansel is on the same team, also fills their turn meter by 50% whenever an enemy is granted an extra turn. Again, unique, very powerful. And then the active effect is if Hansel's on the same team and is killed by the enemy, instantly activates the Sacred Ritual skill on a 3-turn cooldown. So again, I'm not going to repeat it for the 10th time, but you guys get the point, right? The reviews on her are really meh. They're pretty low, honestly. I would say this is kind of like low C tier, high D tier, I guess, if you extrapolate the ratings. But you know, I have a little soft spot for her. She's certainly not the best champion out there, especially without Hansel. With Hansel, she's very interesting. But even alone, like, she's okay, right? Quad hitter is useful in areas like Fire Knight, albeit only a 1-time hitter on that A1. I'd love a 2-time hitter for progression Fire Knight. So, you know, it is what it is. I think she's a very mediocre at best, a lone champion, especially now that we all have Alice. Alice is quite a bit better. She is, you know, different as well, but she's a free champion right now as well at the time of this recording, so a lot of you guys have her. So let's go ahead and take a look at the build on this champion, and we'll take a look at the multipliers as well. What kind of damage can we expect? Really quickly here, you can fast forward if you don't care, but Hansel, right? Now, unfortunately, because he wasn't the fusion, he wasn't the easy to obtain champion, he's quite a bit better. His A1 hits a lot harder. It also has that same AoE potential if Gretel's on the same team. He has an extra turn instead of a 50% turn meter fill that Alice has on her A2. He has a hard-hitting A2 with an extra turn if he kills an enemy, and then a hard-hitting AoE with ignore defense. If Gretel's on the same team, a big 30% ignore defense, and increase the cooldown of all enemy skills by 2 turns. The cooldown increasing effect cannot be resisted on a 3-turn cooldown. So Hansel, and he also has the same kind of activation on the death of a Gretel, right? Oof. He's a lot better with or without Gretel. I hate to say it, but we'll do a guide on him soon as well. Let's go ahead and pull up Gretel, though. What do you guys let me know? Odds are you're watching this video because you went for her, you have her, and I want to know your opinions on this champion as well. Are you as low as I am on her? I hate to just dog on champions here on this channel. I like to see the potential in any champion. That's the whole reason that we made this channel. But at the same time, I lose all credibility if I just say that everybody's amazing, right? So we got to find kind of that middle ground. Stone Skin and Savage Gear are the way to go. She's an arena champion. She's a wave killer. You can get utility out of her, especially in Centranos, some secret rooms in Doom Tower. You know, so she has some potential, but mainly for me, she's a lot of like maybe Fire Knight progression with a quad hitter and in the turn meter decrease and a lot of wave stuff, right? You could also use her against Dark Fae. I would say she really shines in Dark Fae because of the AoE turn meter decrease on her A3. So certainly some areas where you could absolutely get utility out of her. I actually pulled a 6-star blessing for her as well. So I threw some polymorph on her. Why not, right? Why not? We went accuracy on, we went attack on the banner here. I would say most players want to go accuracy. Obviously, we want accuracy for the turn meter, and you know, it's really good to have. She has a decreased defense on the A1. I tried her out in Hydra, by the way, I should mention too, with Gretel, with the AoEs on their A1, and the damage just wasn't there to justify playing both of them together without any of the essential debuffs that we're really looking for in Hydra, unless you're lucky enough to have both these champions kind of in the early game. Anyway, I'm going to attack her accuracy on the banner. I went crit damage. Again, should be crit damage as a main stat, but we're rocking Stone Skin, so I'm going to rock what I have on my account available, and all I had was defense main stat. We'll take a little bit of survivability here, and then I went with all I have, which is attack as a main stat, but not a ton of attack on the substats here, but we might as well glyph that out as well. So set over stat, especially when we're talking about getting Stone Skin and Savage on this champion. I do have a Feral Boot on her. One Piece Feral is nasty. 40 accuracy, yeah, sign me up. Attack percentage on the chest. You know what? Let's use a speed glyph. I'm so protective with my speed glyphs. And we got a 4, not bad, out of a 4-star glyph, right? I'm so protective of my speed glyphs, but it's a pretty nice chest. We get the speed in the double crit rate in Savage. You know, it's not my best, but it's not the worst. And we can use some Chaos Ore and get that to attack percentage as well. We can definitely mule that around a little bit in the future. Crit damage. With crit damage, ideally on the gauntlets. In the beginning, in early game, you can run her with just crit rate on the gauntlets. And then we're looking for speed and crit damage, crit rate, attack as well. Total stats are going to be 6K on the attack, 240 on the speed. Crit capped at 101 crit rate, and 239 on the crit damage with some accuracy. Kind of want everything on this champion, right? Want the accuracy. We also want a little bit of speed. And the end game, looking at like 240, 250 as a minimum on our nukers. And I'm talking like platinum tier and top live arena. But you really generally want to make sure you're scaling your speed on your nukers as you progress in this game. Because, I mean, people, especially in PvP, right? No one's waiting for you, right? So cutting it with 190 or 210 speed nuker like we could a couple of years ago, it's just more and more difficult with blessings and now relics in the game. Anyway, I went with an arena offense build here. here. A very typical arena offense build. I would say maybe bring it down instead of Wrath of Slain, but it's totally fine. And then we came down the left-hand side. We picked up some accuracy, as well as that Master Hexer. I will say that we could probably get rid of Methodical and add a Sniper to increase the chance of that A1 to apply the decreased defense if we want to, especially in PvE content, or especially if you're running her with Gretel, or with Hansel rather, for that AoE. Other blessing considerations could be Cruelty as well on this champion. You could go Phantom Touch, especially in Fire Knight with this champion. That will help out a lot. But obviously I went Polymorph. She has accuracy on her anyway, so even if you don't have her 6-star, you could consider Polymorph if you're running her primarily inside the arena. All right, guys, I'm not going to talk about relics because I think at this point, you're just looking for basically something with attack, right? If you really want to invest in this champion. But if you're anything like me, you're probably not putting your best relics on Gretel, right? Anything with an attack stat would be helpful, generally speaking, right now at least. This probably won't age well in a year or two, but it is what it is. I wanted to start up before we jump into the arena, showing her solo in Curse City against Tainted Fyro. This is Curse City hard. It's a very difficult dungeon. A lot of my clanmates get stuck on this one. Because it's so limited who you can use. Now, obviously, I have a very, very good team here, but frankly, I need a very, very good team, right? I have Crowd in the blue for the freeze, which is turn meter control against the tainted version of the Fire Knight. So anyway, we're going to go in here. We're just going to open up with an A2 here. The turn meter is so high. Oh, I should have opened up with the A3 there on Cryoden. But basically, the reason I'm doing this, guys, the reason I'm showing you this dungeon is just to show you that in Centrano, she actually does have a lot of areas that I was surprised you can use her in, right? A lot of tricky areas. She's not ideal against Fire Knight hard because, again, she doesn't have freeze or anything like that, and she only has a single target hit on her A1. But in a situation like this, we don't have many options, right? So let's go with the increased speed, which I should have done a lot earlier, and then go A1, chip away at that shield. We want to go right to her. There we go. Cool. There you go, Ruella. We want to go right to her A2 ability when the shield is obviously up. And then when the shield is down, we can go in and we can get the A1 to hopefully land that decreased defense on this team. Now, I went with the ally attack on, we want to land that decreased speed on Holstring, right? I went with the ally attack, which some of you might be shaking your head at. Like, why did I go ally attack when the shield was down? I wanted to try to land all those debuffs off the A1s. We didn't really get lucky there, but I wanted to land the debuffs, basically. All right, let's go in. That's the A3. Didn't do, insane damage. Certainly not. Let's land the debuffs here on Ruella's A2. Now we have the decreased defense. Now we're ready to cook. Go in there. Doing some nice damage here. I mean, going with Cryoden's A1, which has that turn meter reduction vis-a-vis the freeze, right? And then even in a situation like this, like that's her A1. All right. Like, we'll take it, I guess, right? It's certainly not game breaking, but it's not awful, I suppose. All right, again, more turn meter. We're gonna be able to get all the way back to that ally attack again for the next shield. And now we're gonna save the 4-hitter. Although it does a lot of damage, it's very tempting. We're gonna be able to get that shield down really fast once it goes back up. He's gonna get a little heal off too here, so we're gonna have to mitigate that. We should be able to kill him the next time that we keep that shield down though, right? So let's go again with the increased speed. Let's go with the ally attack. And then we'll have that quad hitter ready again. She also performs very well in wave content, which is nice. So 4-time hitter, easily take that shield down. We're back down, and we are ready to smoke this dude, right? Holstring does some pretty nice damage, too. I don't think I have an updated guide on Holstring at all on this channel, so maybe we'll do one on him soon. Okay, A1. And we'll go with the turn meter, obviously, on the A3 will not work, but we get a little turn meter boost, so we can get back to her next turn pretty fast, or a little bit faster at least, with that 25% turn meter that she does have on her A2. So let's come in with the triple hitter here on the A2, and can we get? Yes, we can. Cryoden's gonna go. Oh, we didn't get the. Did we get the turn meter? I think we did get it, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Can we end him? Ooh, Gretel, that was your shot. That was your shot, Gretel. It's okay. We'll get him on the next go round. So anyway. Is it the perfect use case? No, she's so much better in Fire Knight progression mode, right? Because she then is you know, she has that quad hitter, but the turn meter decrease actually works, right? So let's go A1 here, chip this shield away. We do have that ally attack, which should be the big final kill on Cardiel. And here it is. So this should kill him right here. But you can use her in all kinds of PvE situations, right? Her damage isn't insane, but you can see she outdamaged everybody except for Holstring, so not too bad, right? Not too bad at all. Let's take a quick look at her area rankings and her rating on hellhades.com. They give her a 4 rating. The same that they gave Alice the Wanderer. I disagree respectfully. What can I say? I'm not that high on her, or as high as hellhades.com is. However, it's nice to see that they really enjoy this champion. So they say Clan Boss is a 4 out of 5 ranking. Fire Knight Normal a 4.5. Fire Knight Hard, they give her a 4 out of 5 ranking. Dark Fae, we mentioned 4.5. Arena a 4.5. Again, I think that's very high personally. A strong damage grading on the A1. A little bit weaker on the AoE. The AoE is the second multiplier listed. We have a 1.4 on the quad hitter, which is a godlike damage rating. Again, I mentioned her hardest hitter in the kit is definitely that A2. The 4.1 attack multiplier on the A3 sounds pretty strong, but it's just, in my experience, is kind of a little bit underwhelming on the AoE attack. There's no like ignore defense or anything built into the AoE like there is on Hansel. All right, let's go into the arena, guys, and see what she can do. I did push up to platinum, but it looks like we fell out during the duration of this recording. Let's start a little bit easy here because we just have a standard go first team. And I did end up putting Alice on the team as well. I want to make sure that I have gear on Alice. Now, granted, I do have gear on Alice, but granted, in all fairness, 6-star blessing, no blessing in the comparison. But let's put them all together, right? Why not? So Arbiter and 3 Sacred Order champions, all kind of sort of new releases, right? All right, so this is going to be, what's her face? Alice, excuse me. Going to decrease. I like them actually together because everybody has cooldown decreasing mechanic. This is Hansel's A3. Pretty dang strong. Pretty dang strong there. This is Gretel's A3. Not too bad. I mean, it's no Hansel, but it wasn't bad. Let's keep it going. Is it Hansel or Hansel? I don't know if my New England accent is kicking in or not. Hansel. Hansel and Gretel? Hansel and Gretel. I don't freaking know. I think I said Hansel growing up, but I feel like it might be Hansel. Either way, we're here to talk about Gretel, and I can freaking nail Gretel. All right, let's go in. Now, this is a situation where, oh man, I'll tell you what, Hansel's kind of running the show right now, right? You're going to go in with that AoE there. And now we can just end with Alice. We can just end Heffrack. Man, those other nukers are doing a good job. Let's see how we do against this Siegfried team here. This is an interesting team. They've got like a mix of free-to-play and then Siegfried. Boom. But hey, okay, we're going to go in again, lockout with the A2 with Gretel. She's in Stone. She's in the same build as Alice, Stone Skin and Savage. Okay, or as Gretel, excuse me. So again, we're just gonna... Hansel's just destroying right now. But we have a long way to go, right? All right, so in this situation, we can reduce turn meter by 50%, but we don't have any buff removal here on the team. And certainly we don't have any... Let's just reduce turn meter and buy us a little bit of time to get back to our abilities, right? Actually, we do. We have the A2 here of Arbiter, at least to reduce the duration, right? Nothing we can do there, so let's just poke around here. Oh, we got to keep in mind, I targeted Siegfried there, but it's going to be an AoE on both their A1s. Keep that in mind because they're together, right? Ignore shield and unkillable, but not block damage. What a bummer. So we'll just A1. And again, nothing to do here other than wait. They have no threat on their team in terms of damage right now, really, because I'm going to turn meter boost here. Because Siegfried is in his alternate form right now. So they can basically just kind of regroup, heal up, but that's fine. All right, it's time to test out her A2 ability, and this is a perfect situation to do it in, right? I don't know if Arbiter has her revive. Still, the Drake's definitely does. So let's just go in against SOD. We have the good affinity matchup, and boy, was that weak. She didn't have increased attack, though, in all fairness. Let's go still the Drakes with Alice. Yeah. Let's go AA3 here with Hansel. I love that he increases cooldowns too. It's really a kind of a, I mean, not many people can pull it off, but it's kind of a nasty combo to have them all together like this. There's so much turn meter manipulation. They don't have like that big nuke that you're often looking for, but they have so much cooldown and turn meter between the three of them, right? Hansel, Gretel, and Alice. Okay, let's take Hansel off the team because I'm not going to lie, he's kind of stealing the show a little bit, you know? I don't know if we're going to be faster than any of these teams, frankly, guys, but let's try this squad. Let's take him out. Let's just add... I want somebody to nuke a little bit on this squad, but I almost want... I hope I have my Duchess in gear. I almost want, like, a little bit more control or a little bit more... Yeah, I guess we'll just go Armands. Just so that way, against a team like this, if I go first, at least I have a shot at, like, controlling the match a little bit. I'm just going to go in and immediately sheep Siegfried, because we would not be able to survive against Siegfried. Cooldown might have helped a little bit, but we neutralized Leo. Let's just go in with the A3. So now we have the A3 by itself, no Hansel on the team. Now I'm in my own head with that whole thing. Let's reduce that unkillable. Fantastic. Okay, let's go in there and get a kill maybe. There we go. Get the stun. Fantastic. And then let's start working on Siegfried, right? So we're just going to A1 and Siegfried, trigger his passive. And then I don't want to kill everybody. I don't want to kill everybody, so I'm just going to kill Duchess. And I'm just going to turn meter boost. And we're going to go ahead and... Yeah, I'm going to actually sheep him. You ever do this, guys, with Armands? You ever just kind of use him just to buy you a little bit of time or remove a buff just with the sheep ability? That's exactly what we did here. So now we can kill him next and then kill in the right order to circumvent Siegfried's passive. Let's do one more battle, guys. Let's go against this He-Man team here and see what we can do. I do think it's a fun team. She's a pretty fun champion. I like that she's Force Affinity. We're going to lose this one. I like that she's Force Affinity, but I do think, like I said, not to belabor the point and just to hate on this champion, I think she's a cool champion. She's got a lot going on, especially when she's with Hansel. We didn't even see them die together so that you can activate that passive together. But I do think that she's, I think she deserves a buff, frankly, I think she's got a lot going on, but she needs to bring a little bit more to the table, just herself, you shouldn't have a champion where to really get excited about them, you almost have to have, unless you're really early game, to really get excited about them, you almost have to have a different champion, right? Oh man, I feel like we're screwed no matter which direction that we go here, guys. I'm going to get rid of Marius though. Oh, I get the resist. I got the polymorphed. Oh, I didn't look at the blessings. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right, let's see if we can get revenge. All right, revenge time, guys. Revenge. All right. Marius got... they got the resist on Marius. I didn't like that at all. All right, let's go in and... let's try again. If at first you don't succeed, make the same mistake again, right? All right, so Rotos went right for Gretel. That's fantastic. I like that you can get around a UDK very easily with a Gretel as well. Hey, look at that. We got the skill reset on the Alice kill. Very, very nice. I have a really fun video coming up on the main channel for Rotos the Lost Groom, so stay tuned for that for sure, guys. It's going to be really nasty. He is so broken in a build right now, and you guys are definitely going to want to check it out. All right, we have a Reviver and a Freezer with a 3-turn cooldown. She's going to be ready to go, and she is. So we might not be able to get revenge here. Rotos is going to get the cleanse from the Siffy passive as well. And I need to neutralize Marius as always. So I'm scared of Rotos, but he does kill her that time. And now Rotos is doing what Rotos does. Just wiping everybody out. All right, it's really on you here, Alice. Can we get a really hard-hitting A3? Or can we get put to sleep? I knew I'd bet off a little bit more than I could chew with this team, I'll be honest with you guys, but we don't cut the losses here, so it is what it is. Listen, what do you guys think of Gretel? Excuse me, now I'm all over the place. What do you guys think of Gretel? Do you think I'm wrong in my assessment? Let me know in the comments below, but that was my guide. Let me know if you want to see a more dedicated Hansel guide, because I do think that he brings a bit more to the table, even outside of the tandem. I think that he stands alone a bit better as well. So anyway, guys, keep the champion guide requests coming in the comments below. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.